To transport placardable hazardous materials in Massachusetts, you must hold which CDL endorsement? H. Hazmat endorsement. This certifies you're trained and cleared to haul hazardous materials. Let's continue. What is the minimum age to apply for a hazmat endorsement? 21 years old. Federal rules require drivers to be at least 21 and pass a TSA background check. Moving on. Which federal regulation contains the hazardous materials regulations? 49 CFR Parts 100 to 185. These parts cover classification, packaging, and transportation rules. Here's another. Who is responsible for correctly describing the hazardous materials on the shipping papers? The shipper. They must certify the proper shipping name, hazard class, and quantity. Up next, shipping papers for hazardous materials must be kept within reach in the driver's compartment. They must be immediately accessible for inspection or emergencies. Onwards, how many identical placards are required on a placarded commercial vehicle? 4, front, rear, both sides. Placards must be visible from every direction of approach. Let's keep going. What is the minimum size for hazardous materials placards on highway vehicles? 10, 75 inches square. This size ensures legibility at a distance. Check this out. Which placard class number denotes flammable liquids? 3 Class 3 covers liquids with flash points below 60 degrees Celsius. Now for this. What background color does a Class 2-3 poison inhalation hazard placard have? White. White background with skull and crossbones marks toxic inhalation hazards. Continuing, which hazard class covers oxidizers? Class 5. 1. Oxidizers can intensify fires by supplying oxygen to the reaction. Moving on, dangerous when wet materials carry which placard number? 4. Class 4. 3 warns of substances that react violently with water. Here's one. Corrosive materials are in which class? Class 8. Class 8 placards warn of acids and caustic substances. Next up, which placard indicates radioactive materials? Class 7. Radioactive placards feature the trefoil symbol on a yellow-white background. Keep this in mind. Packing Group 1 indicates what hazard level? High hazard. This group represents the most dangerous substances within a class. Ready for more? How often must all placards be inspected for legibility and correctness? Before each trip, a quick check prevents missing or faded placards from going unseen. Don't miss this. What tool provides initial response guidance for hazmat incidents? Emergency Response Guidebook, ART. The ERG gives first responders and drivers action guides for spills and fires. Coming up, what does RQ on shipping papers signify? Reportable quantity. It indicates amounts of certain materials where a release must be reported. Time for another. Hazardous materials training must be renewed at least every 2 years. Biennial refresher training keeps drivers current on changing regulations. Stay sharp. A non-flammable gas placard carries what number? 2. Class 2. 2 covers gases that are neither flammable nor toxic under normal conditions. Here's one more. A placard for organic peroxides is what class? 5. Class 5. 2 warns of self-reactive organic compounds prone to explosion. Let's continue. When unloading placarded cargo, you must set parking brakes and chalk wheels. This secures the vehicle against movement during loading, unloading. On to the next. If you lose shipping papers in transit, you must obtain duplicate papers before moving sign. You cannot legally continue without proper documentation. Don't forget, small quantity exemptions remove the placarding requirement when under threshold amounts per 49 CFR. Small shipments below certain quantities need not be placarded. Here's another. You may use dummy placards only. Off public highways for training. Real placards are required when on public roads. Let's go on. When loading compressed gas cylinders, they must be secured upright and capped. Upright positioning and valve protection prevent leaks and falls. Next up, which item must appear on every shipping paper for hazmat? 24-hour emergency contact number. This ensures help is available at any time in an incident. Moving on. When transferring hazmat from tank to tank on public roads, you must not transfer unless at an approved facility. Transfers on public ways are prohibited without proper controls. Here's the following one. Security plans are required for shipments of high-risk hazardous materials. Materials posing significant security threats need additional safeguards. Keep it going. When ending your shift, you must remove placards if truck is empty. Empty vehicles must not display hazardous placards. Next question. If a placard becomes damaged or illegible, you must replace it before driving again. Clear placards are critical for safety and compliance. Let's continue. What is the proper way to secure a leaking package? Place it in an overpack container. Overpacks contain leaks and protect first responders. Now this. Which placard is orange with a black exploding bomb symbol? Division 1. 1 Explosives Class 1. 1 covers materials with mass explosion hazards. Proceeding. What does Class 6-1 represent? Toxic substances. These placards warn of poisons harmful by ingestion, inhalation, or contact. Next up. What must drivers consult before responding to a spill? ERG's Initial Isolation and Protective Action Guides. The ERG gives step-by-step protective measures and evacuation distances. Moving on. When parking a placarded vehicle overnight, you must keep it in a secure, designated area. This reduces risk to public safety and unauthorized access. Here's another. A white placard with a skull and crossbones indicates poisonous materials. It warns of substances dangerous through inhalation or contact. Now for this. Which section of 49 CFR lists placard specifications? Part 172, Subpart F. This subpart details placard design, size, and placement. Onwards. Ignition sources must be kept at least how far from flammable materials? 25 feet. Keeping sparks and flames away prevents fires and explosions. Next question. Whenever loading flammable liquids, you must prohibit smoking within 25 feet. This prevents accidental ignition of vapors. Let's keep going. Which fire extinguisher rating is required in the cab of a placarded vehicle? 10 BC. This rating covers flammable liquid and electrical fires. Moving forward, how far must you park from a bridge with explosives on board? At least 300 feet. Maintaining distance reduces risk from potential blasts. Here's another. What agency issues the Hazmat endorsement after TSA approval? Massachusetts RMV. The RMV processes endorsements once TSA clears the applicant. Proceeding, a placard with a flame over a circle identifies oxidizers. These placards warn of materials that can intensify combustion. Next up, which color border is used on an explosive placard? Orange. The orange border with black symbol clearly indicates explosives. On to the next. In an emergency, you must report spills to Chemtrec or local responders. These contacts provide immediate technical guidance and response support. Continuing, hand signals for hazmat operations should be prearranged and clearly understood. Consistent signals reduce risk of miscommunication during transfers. Let's wrap up. What is the marking for highway route controlled quantities of radioactives? RQ, after the proper shipping name. This marking identifies materials subject to routing controls. Finally, for mixed loads, placard for highest hazard class present, always display the most hazardous materials placard to warn responders.